Gentlemen, please welcome our host for the evening, anchor of CBS 11 News at 5, 6, and 10, and the proud Gold Star son of a fallen United States Army service member. Please welcome Mr. Doug Dunbar.
Good evening, good evening. What an incredible start. Just so you know, we have speakers backstage, and that about knocked everybody over backstage. The volume on that. Good evening to you. Please have a seat, settle in. We have got an extraordinary night ahead for you tonight. If you don't know, my name's Doug Dunbar. It is an absolute honor to be with you once again tonight. This is Skyball 20. This is a benchmark. It's a very big night. I'd love to begin tonight, honestly, by a show of hands. How many have served or are serving this nation at this time? How many have or are? Raise your hand. I want everybody else to take a look around you. Got heroes in your midst. Tonight, our opportunity to honor the men and the women who step up to be at the tip of the spear for the rest of us. We are here for the right reasons. We are blessed to be joined tonight by so many who wear the cloth of this nation. And as I begin, I want to speak to each of you who raised your hand earlier. If you've served or are serving, I want to talk to you for just 1 second. I want you to share your stories of sacrifice and service. I want you to share the tough times with the ones you love, and I'd love for you to share the good times. They want to hear it from you. I promise you that. They never want to be left guessing, and I say this to you because I'm among those who've been left guessing for a lifetime. So why would that be? Well, as a Gold Star kid from Vietnam, I have in my possession, I think it's probably about a dozen photographs of my dad in service, and that's it. It's all I've ever had, and as you can imagine, they're from the 60s, and they're old photographs, so I take good care of them. And I don't have any stories to go with any of the photographs or any context, with the exception of one. And it's the photograph that you see up there on the left. So I've looked at that photograph for decades. I've always wondered, in the back of my head, where was this photo taken? What was going on? Because my dad served in Korea as well as Vietnam. So the revelation, and this may be a little bit of a mind blower here, the revelation honestly came last week. So how did that happen? Well, my wife would attest. I had a box on the kitchen counter, and I was going through letters that were exchanged between my mom and my dad during his time in Korea and then in Vietnam. And I've had this box since she passed away 4 years ago. And letters I've hesitated to go through, but I'm glad that I'm starting the journey now. So a random letter that I opened last week. It was from my dad to my mom, dated February 2nd, 1969, and he's got way better handwriting than I've ever had. Up in the upper right, it said the date, and it said Tui Hoa, RVN, Republic of Vietnam. And it read, and I'll read you some excerpts and why this matters. It says, "My darling wife, just a line to let you know I'm okay, and I hope this letter finds you and Doug the same." But then later in the letter came the moment. So he says, "I will send you this picture that the major took while we were flying in a helicopter going to one of the fire support bases. I think I've flown my last combat mission and rolled my last road." And wouldn't you know it, my dad was right. Because 13 days later, we found out that he wasn't coming home the way we had all hoped, sadly. But the good news, here I stand now over 50 years later in front of you on this night, and I finally have context for a picture of my dad that I've cherished forever, but never knew anything about it. So share your stories of service. We want to know. God, I was so close. I got all the way through to the end. So close to not cracking. Love you too. So, some things for you for your strategic planning tonight. Because here's the other side, and this is where I get less emotional. We're coming after you. Guns blazing. Money. We are supporting the Airpower Foundation and the mission to honor and support our service members. So when it comes to strategy, the silent auction, which is so wonderfully set up in the back, that's going to close at 9:30. No ifs, ands, or buts, but if you walk up with cash, everything is negotiable. Keep that in mind. Bid early, bid often. Don't forget the programs that support our military members. This money funnels down from tonight all the way through lots of different programs, over 24 that will eventually help military families, and so many of them here in the Metroplex. A lot of people here in North Texas benefiting, the very people who answer the call, no matter when it comes. And then after we enjoy dinner, we're going to have a number of ways that you can give back tonight. Give you opportunities there. Silent auction, of course, we will have that, but we'll also have some, and I'm going to say this out loud, dudes don't understand, I'm assuming ladies will, Kendra Scott jewelry. I think that's a thing. We're also going to have a little friendly table competition. Chef Irvine and I were kind of butting heads a little bit earlier. We'll get into that toward the back end of the night. And another item of note, if you look at your program, if you haven't thumbed through it as of yet, page number 36 in the program, it's got information regarding a raffle where you can win a trip to the National Finals Rodeo, and that's going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, there's a QR code on that page. Break your phone out. You can scan the QR code. That's your opportunity to enter that raffle. We'd love to have you get involved in that. And the chance to buy that ticket pops right up on the phone, so it's super easy, no muss, no fuss. Chance to go to Vegas for the National Rodeo Final. Oh, Lord, hang on.
There is no way you're going to beat me, period.
No, Chef Irvine. Chef.
We'll fight to the end.
This is Doug's restaurant. Possible,
Yes.
not impossible tonight.
Remember that.
Thank you very much. The chef and I, button heads, table competition. Get ready for that. Speaking of QR codes, back on the back of your program, there's a second QR code I want you to be aware of there. You're going to need that for when it comes to the table race, which my good friend was just jacking his mouth about over here, and that's going to, again, come toward the end of the night. All right, so that's the business side. Let's put all that aside. One last request as we get underway tonight. Everybody's got the phone. I've got mine in my back pocket, but I've already done what I'm going to ask you to do. Let's be together tonight. Let's be in the moment. Let's be with each other. Let's be with our heroes. So respectfully, if you could, silence your phone tonight. We understand if you're going to be on it here and there, that's okay. But silence the phone. And if you don't, candidly, that's okay too. Because Robert and I are listening, and with every single ring or ding tonight, we appreciate that, because that's an automatic $500 donation. We'll be approaching you with Marine Corps heroes, so don't think about not giving. So should we vote on that? Actually, honestly, that should be your decision. Should we do that? All in favor say aye. Motion passes. I don't need to hear any more. All right, tonight's program, just so you know, 2 distinct sections. First half tonight, it's all about honor. We're going to be honoring those who have paid the biggest price for the very freedoms that allow us to gather here on this great night. For the second half, we're going to move to hope. Don't have hope, we don't have a lot. And a lot of people would argue if you don't have hope, you don't have anything. All right? Part of the mission, make sure when you walk out of this beautiful place tonight, this beautiful ballpark where they're going to hold a wonderful football game on Saturday, we want you to walk out tonight with hope in your heart and trust in the men and women who have answered the call to protect this land. And we want that to be held close in your heart, and we want them to know that the accolades are well-deserved, because they are. You are also going to bear witness tonight, and I don't know that this has been done before, to the largest number of what I'm going to call brave young men and women who are going to take the oath of enlistment right here at Skyball, right down here, and you are their motivation. Make no mistake, you're their motivation. They've already decided they are going to serve. 20 years of Skyball, big night to welcome America's newest heroes. That's going to be a big moment. To kick things off is a joy to welcome our longtime friend. He is a great guy and an even better singer, America's tenor Steve Amerson. Steve will be singing our national anthem tonight. At the same time, our colors will be presented by the 1st Cav from Fort Hood, Texas. With that, I will ask, please present the colors.